Is that Gojo-sensei? No. It's something creepier. What's up, guys? I'm Okkotsu here, and here we are to do a breakdown / discussion of whether or not Yuta Okkotsu has come to beguile in this game the king of curses, Ryomen Sukuna, by the end of chapter 260 of Jujutsu Kaisen. We have a bunch to talk about in so little time, so let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Heading me, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a come here pencil here. Fun fact: I don't have it on me. I have it on me at all times. And another fun fact. Obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that chapter 260's end, which is weird. I don't know. Something about this is strange. Like, in the TCBs, this was the last page, but now here in the officials, this is the last. I don't get it. I don't get it. But regardless, the end of chapter 260, whether you think it's the penultimate page or the actual ultimate page, the last one, shows Gojo Satoru, or at least, as it's described in the officials, a ghost of immense strength, who he had buried with his own hands. And in the TCBs, it's mentioned those eyes are unmistakable. And obviously, this had the whole community in a tizzy, had the world doing backflips and twists and cartwheels and everything. It had the whole world going nutty without any restraint at all. And don't get me wrong, I'm more fine with that than anything else in creation. I'm down with things to get crazy. But once again, going with the most obtuse idea, or like the second most obtuse idea, ignoring the possibility that this is either Gojo genuinely just appearing in Sukuna's like tweakish nightmares, as in like bro is legit on the verge of losing everything, his soul boundaries in pieces, he's genuinely missing a heart and currently getting crushed and torn out, missing an arm, like bro's been going through it all day, still may have a little bit of that brain scramblage, like he's probably in a pretty rough spot, so he's maybe just seeing Gojo because, you know, tweak fest, or the idea that this is just Gojo back. Just ignoring that for the idea that could cause problems. We'll address that in another video. But obviously, there's a question. A question that's raised by the possibilities that were hinted at long ago. Remember, there are no other members of the Gojo clan that we know of. Unfortunately, there's just a clan that, like, super duper rare, or not even rare, like, Gege explicitly goes out of their way to never show us another Gojo clan member. I do not think you can find a panel of one. Like, we don't even know what this guy's parents look like. We don't even, I think he may have been spotted with servants one time. Like, we have no idea about any other member of the Gojo clan. With one exception. Or at least not a member of the Gojo clan, but a relative to them. And obviously, you know who it is. Bada bing, bada boom. It's the biggest, sick, sizeless man in the room. Yuta Okkotsu. Now, here's the thing. Gege all the way back at the end of Zero confirms that Yuta Okkotsu and Gojo Satoru are very, very, very distant cousins. So, there's some relation there. Is it clear? No. Is it direct? No. Is it valid? Maybe. And that's just key number one. We know the Six Eyes are specifically tied to the Gojo clan. How they respawn is unknown. We just don't know. It's just not, no one's ever told us. Like, Gege doesn't explain if they, like, vanish, like, if they, like, evaporate out of somebody's eyes, and then they just reappear, like, the next baby 400 years later. We don't know. But we know that they're specifically tied to the Gojo clan. Yuta, if very, very indirectly, is also tied to the Gojo clan. Step one. Step two. You know, it's not entirely impossible, you know, the idea that a Yuta Okkotsu could be mistaken for Satoru Gojo. Especially by a man who, once again, need I remind you, is currently tweaking out his mind as he's being teleported upwards of 50 times in a second, literally entering like a pseudo instant transmission void state, having his brain jangled, who just got hit with, not his first, not his second, not his third, not his fourth, not his fifth, not his sixth, not his seventh, but his eighth Black Flash, and is currently having his heart scooped out. It's not entirely impossible that a man who's likely heavily relying on his curse energy-based senses could kind of just feel what he would think is Gojo. But it could simply end up being, no, something even creepier. Yuta Okkotsu has been confused for Gojo before. Now, of course, this is by Yuji Todori, someone who's never encountered Yuta Okkotsu, but it's clear that On a first glance, or at least based on what one would sense at first, yeah, the two can definitely be confused, especially since Yuta Okkotsu is confirmed to have higher levels of curse energy than Gojo Satoru to begin with. Now, of course, the big issue, the big Slabanaka, is that the last time we saw Yuta, he was, how do I put this? How do I put this nicely? Yeah, there's no real way to put it. He was got nap, alright? Like, the man's in pieces. So clearly, it couldn't be him, right? It couldn't be. He hasn't shown up for 8 chapters. His last appearance is in chapter 252. That is it. We have not seen bro for a minute and a half now. It's like he's gone. But, since he's gone, maybe he's getting a little bit of an eye transplant or something. Or maybe another concept that is hinted at and is very, very vital considering the nature of Ryomen Sukuna right now as a vessel for the merger. The idea of Jujutsu Kaisen and its emphasis on destiny, on fate, on understanding, fearing, and respecting the world around you. The idea that the world itself sort of has ideas on how it should flow. And ultimately, it will do anything in its power to make sure that flow is maintained. Naturally, there are people who can shatter said flow, break it, as Toji Fushiguro did. The unexpected happened 12 years ago when Toji Zenin intervened. But remember what Tengen says. And they're obviously the oldest character in the series, presumably, or at least one of the. Kenjaku prevented merging the star plasma vessel and forced your evolution, and wants to consume and control you through curse manipulation. Apparently he was involved with Sukuna, so he's been a sorcerer for at least 1,000 years. So why now? The star plasma vessel, the Six Eyes, and I are all connected by fate. In the past, Kenjaku has lost twice to users of the Six Eyes. After the second time, he took no chances. He slaughtered the star plasma vessel and the Six Eyes less than 1 month after they were born. Nonetheless, on the day of merging, the Six Eyes and the star plasma vessel appeared. After that, Kenjaku switched to sealing instead of eradicating the Six Eyes and began searching for the prison realm, because 2 bearers of the Six Eyes cannot exist at the same time. Note how that's phrased. 2 bearers cannot exist at the same time. So Gojo currently doesn't exist. But once again, that leaves the transfer criteria vague enough. It could be that you have to still be born with it. Like maybe the Six Eyes won't spawn until the next Gojo clan member gives birth to one. Or, simply put, in a similar way to what happened with Kenjaku in this timeline, where he slaughtered a Six Eyes user, presumed one would not appear in time to stop him, and then another did instantaneously to specifically prevent the merger. Now, of course, you could argue, well, that doesn't matter anymore. Toji broke fate. Thusly, any previous fate conditions shouldn't matter, right? Yeah, kinda sorta. Because Toji broke fate, but he didn't break the Six Eyes. And, of course, now that the merger is an active, real possibility, even with the lack of the star plasma vessel to prevent it by stabilizing Tengen as Tengen's already destabilized, it's not impossible that fate, destiny, a god of whatever form in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe would use a vessel that's still alive and breathing, a vessel that has direct ties to the Gojo clan, a vessel that currently could stand to gain a lot from reaching a new tier of power, reaching higher into the heavens, going from beyond something that is just considered an equivalent to Gojo Satoru but creepier, but actually managing to surpass the strongest sorcerer of today. Yuta Okkotsu could be the next vessel, the Guardian of Fate. Once again, a big reason why me and a lot of others are against the merger happening is because the stakes of that are monstrous. All of Japan gets absorbed. That's millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people getting consumed into a massive biomass of cursed energy. Now, of course, we have no idea what that'll actually look like. As has been pointed out eloquently in my comment section before, we have no clue. It could literally just turn into Clifford the Big Red Dog. It could turn to my left big toe. It could turn to your left big toe. We have no clue. But with that being the case, it's presumably going to be a monster. And regardless of whether it's a monster or not, whether it's benevolent or not, whether it's evil or not, it's still going to take the lives of a literal multi-millions of people. Preventing that would be pretty logical. And Yuta Okkotsu could help prevent that. Give him the power that was lost with Gojo Satoru. With his ability, his ability to take anything, and with his countless experiences with Gojo Satoru, give him access to things like the Limitless. We know he has RCT, one of the highest level users of RCT in the entire series. He can heal other people with it. So Red isn't beyond his purview. He's a prodigy. He just watched, in Universe that was like, 30 minutes ago? He just watched Gojo Satoru activate an unlimited hollow, a hollow purple. So it's not impossible for Okkotsu to reach to the levels of Gojo Satoru and even transcend them here and now by becoming the next vessel for the Six Eyes. A holster, essentially, to wield the weapon that is meant to defend Fate, just as Okkotsu himself wields weapons to defend his friends and family, or the friends who became family, from the monster, like Ryomen Sukuna and Kenjaku, and many, many more. It's a neat idea. I like it, especially considering it plays into a lot of Yuta's theming, it brings up the idea of his ancestry playing a role in the narrative, and once again, it's kind of happened before, the idea that one would mistake Okkotsu, but not the eyes, because those eyes are distinct and have only been seen on one man by Ryomen Sukuna. Meanwhile, the eyes, plus the cursed energy, plus the vessel and the history of it, all that is unknown to Sukuna. So him getting caught off guard and being confused, I really, really like it. But once again, we run into the same two issues that we had with the Gojaku idea. Or this just being Gojo. Or anything. A Six Eyes Yuta would bend Sukuna over the table, yank his pants down, and absolutely let Rika shove their massive throat. Okay, let me stop. Let me stop! But let's focus back on the plot. Essentially, Yuta would be way too powerful with the Six Eyes. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Legitimately. Remember, he's had a hot minute to lay down. His domain is likely no longer on cooldown. And he's very likely not turning that bad boy off this time. And like I said, if he even gets a fraction of the Limitless, a base instance of its manifestation, he's unstoppable. If he has unlimited RCT juice on top of his limitless CE juice from Rika, he's literally unstoppable. Imagine everything that Okkotsu does buffed by the Six Eyes. His perception would go up. His reactions would go up. Everything would spontaneously increase to the point where he would just solo Sukuna. And you may be like, well, Pencil Man as a Yuta yucker, an Okkotsu eater, a Yuta glazer myself. I don't have any issue with him soloing Sukuna. It's well earned. Let the real MC come back and smack his throbbing cursed meat all over the King Curse's forehead. Have it put him in a chokehold. And, you know, the Yuta fan in me is okay with that as well. But, once again, this is Yuji's fight. This is Yuji's villain. It's kind of the same thing I feel about Yuta taking down Kenjaku. Yes, is there a reason to? Absolutely. Kenjaku is an animal, a monster, a beast, a creature, and a demon. So of course someone had to take him down. And Okkotsu taking him down makes sense based on his level of power and his relative impact to someone who isn't Kenjaku. But who Kenjaku happens to be inhabiting at the time. It's fine. Still kind of feels weird and weak. It doesn't really feel like a character appropriate thing to do. And not even like a character appropriate, and they wouldn't do that. Obviously, Yuta would fight sneakily and take Kenjaku's head with the help of Todo and Takaba. Why wouldn't he? Kenjaku's annoying and a threat. But specifically in this case, I mean, contradictory to the character's nature. As much as I love Yuta, he's a side character in this manga. A side of side characters. The only reason he's, like, more important than other characters is because he was literally the protagonist in the previous manga, but he's still a side character now. Him taking any sort of major dub over our final villain when Yuji Itadori couldn't, that's not just going to leave a bad taste in my mouth, it's going to leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Well, maybe not everybody. The Yuta fans once again won't be happy. But that's the thing, he's just a little bit too broken. And he takes the spotlight away from Yuji. Don't get me wrong, I love Gojo. Just like I love Yuta, I love Hikari, I love all these different characters. But even me, the mightiest Maki meat muncher this side of the Mississippi, I don't want her to reveal the final blow on Sukuna. I really just want the ones run between Yuji and Sukuna. I'll be completely honest. I want Yuji to have his moment, finally, against his villain, who underestimated him this entire time. I want that. If you're going to smack something on the table for me to gobble up and devour, slap that on the table. Don't just give Yuta the Six Eyes. The thing is, it all makes sense, though. all the pieces, even more than the Kenjaku thing, infinitely more than the Kenjaku thing, every single bit of groundwork is laid. From the previous comparisons to himself and Satoru Gojo, to the idea of destiny and fate and the dealing of the six eyes and the act of preserving it. The fact that the merger just shouldn't be something that should be allowed to happen based on the drastic, possibly irreversible scales it can cause. The idea that ultimately Yuta Okkotsu has been missing for a hot minute and could currently be undergoing an evolutionary transformation, almost on some Pokemon type beat. The idea that Yuta Okkotsu would be more than strong enough to come help Itadori clean up, if not just clean up the entire battle himself. All this, it just seems so clean, so simple, so perfect. It almost makes me want to say, when you walk away, do you hear me say, please, oh baby, don't let me go. Like, legitimately, it all seems way too clean. But I don't want it. Because this isn't Yuta's story anymore. His story is done. He's in half. But he'll live. Let him live. Let him come back. Let him do anything else after that. But please, just don't let him come and take my baby boy spotlight away. This little football, he's been working for it. He's been fighting for his life for a hot minute now. I feel like it's finally time to let him shine. Above all other things, Yuta Okkotsu should let Yuji Itadori cook. Because as long as he does, we have the best of both worlds. Yuta still had a fantastic run. A better run than me and many others expected, but I know there are people who are still disappointed in his run regardless. But that's the thing. Yuta's had his time in the sun. You can even give him the six eyes after the fact, for all I care. But do not let Sukuna be the one to fall to Yuta Okkotsu. You can have it be the merger. You can have it be any other random external threat. You can bring Kenjaku back for all I care and just have Yuta one-tap him again. I simply could not be bothered to care. Just don't let him steal my boy Sukuna. It's too important now. We're in way too deep to slide the plot away for a boy who was chosen by the darkness. However, that's what I think. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think anything is actually in the narrative to set up Yuta hypothetically getting the six eyes and coming back and being super duper broken? Do you think Yuta with the six eyes could solo the entire verse? Do you think Yuta with the six eyes is a horrible idea in of itself and you have no idea what I was thinking? Please let me know all that and more in the comment section down below. At least thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a picture down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Links like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get this same perks and more. Some of those perks will include the live reaction to the very next chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, every variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron and $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, if you want to leave a $5 donation for your boy for a short video, the link is in the description down below, and a $25 video, or a $25 donation for a regular length video, you can drop that in the Ko-Fi down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dagger the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members. O'Connor Plays, Greyhound, At Kids Void, Astro, Eternal Flame, Red Wolf, 4765, King Sukuna, NMA, Real Rare, Paris Arnold, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 members, Super Gamer Q, Steron, Sean, Sammy, Oexian, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Josh Brown, and A+A. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 member, Autumn Mornings Lazo. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha and Jay Warrior. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 patrons, Joaquin Munoz, and Idemo Kami. And I'd like to give a final gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.